What's going on, guys? Oh, hey, actually, that wasn't that bad of an intro. I always suck at those. Welcome back to another episode of Friday Night Fight Talk. As per usual, I am your wonderful host, J2006. And obviously, we have no UFC this weekend. I mean, not obviously. If you don't follow this, it's kind of hard to know when there's no UFC this weekend. But we don't got it this weekend, so we just got a little discussion episode today. Not much, nothing special. Um, but yeah, we got a little bit of Q&A, and then I got to discuss a few things. Actually, I might get the discussions out of the way first. So first of all, what the fuck just happened on the weekend, man? So last week I didn't get to update my episode, but Armand Sarukian pulled out on 1 day's notice. And as I was recording that episode, I was watching and I was like, man, when is Armand gonna weigh in? Like, this is unreal. And he never did. He was out. So then Islam fought Moicano. And my thing with Islam is he's definitely pound for pound number one, but I have to say this, his title reign is a little overrated. This might be a hot take. Don't get me wrong, he's probably the greatest lightweight of all time. But tell me his title reign is not overrated. Okay? So, beats Charles Oliveira. That's an amazing win. Charles Oliveira coming off the Justin Gaethje fight. But then he beats Volkanovski, another great win. That's still his toughest fight. But then he beats short notice Volkanovski. This is where we get iffy. He beat a 145er on short notice. Okay. Now, granted, not just any 145er. It's Volk. Also, it might have been CG. So was the first one because Volk obviously became double champ because he's the GOAT. Then he fights old Dustin. Okay. We're getting a little questionable. Dustin wasn't totally out of it. And then he fights Moicano on 1 day's notice. Tell me that title reign is a little overrated. If he fought Armand Sarukian, it would be like definitive he's the lightweight GOAT, but I'm probably going to still have to flip-flop between him and Khabib for a bit. I'm not sure. And then, who thought Umar Marab was going to be a great fight? Did anyone else think that? I thought it was going to be a bit of a snooze fest. I thought it was going to be a high-level grappling match, which, like, I obviously appreciate grappling unless your name's Gielton Almeida. And you sit on Derek Lewis for 25 minutes. But I really like that fight, and I love Marab taunting on Umar, fucking emoting mid-match. Straight up some UFC 5 shit. And then Yuri and Jamal. Man, I loved that. I was so happy to see that. And now I can actually this sounds weird, I can kind of feel bad for Jamal now. Because he was very humble in defeat there. He was very humble, like he lost fair and square. But there was, I actually am starting to feel a little bad for him. Not about the Alex fight, he's still a little bitch for that. But he had a terrible year with everything. He got arrested, had to vacate the title. I guess a year and a half. Arrested, vacated the title. Lost to Alex, which he thought shouldn't have happened because he technically advanced on a foul, but honestly it didn't change much. And then now he's obviously lost to Yuri. And I'm wondering where he's gonna go from here. I honestly think, man, I don't even know who they can match him up with. That division it's definitely shaping up to be good. But I think what they're going to do is obviously, actually, now I should cover this. UFC 313, Pereira, Ankalaev, and Gaethje Hooker. And a lot of people aren't discussing the fact that it's during Ramadan. It's a real big disadvantage for Ankalaev. It's really a big disadvantage. So if a lot of people recognize that it's during Ramadan, and if Ankh beats him, which I don't think he does, I even think in his prime, I don't think Ankh beats him. unless he wrestles. He has to wrestle to beat him. Then yeah, it'll be a great performance. And surely they'll give Alex the instant rematch too. Due to just how many defenses he's had. But whoever wins that fight as well, I actually think they will face the winner of Jan and Ulberg. Maybe not if Alex wins and Jan wins. But if Ulberg wins, I think 100% without a doubt in my mind he will get a title shot. But yeah, okay. That's just a little bit of the things I want to discuss. I'm sure I'm forget. Aha! Sorry if you just went deaf there. Forgot this. Tony Ferguson, as of today, as I'm recording this, is officially out of the UFC. He's signing with the GFL, and if anyone saw in the post, they also lied about his record. They said he was 23-7. He's like 23-11. But yeah, anyways, man, I hate to see it. I wish he could have retired, like a full retirement, but had to keep the one glove, buddy. Jeez. Okay, now we'll get into our actual Q&A here. So, I still can't say his name. He's finally back. I'm gonna check the verdict post while I'm at it. Make sure I didn't miss anything. I don't think I did. Yeah. So we have. Does Izzy look better or worse than from 305? I don't know if this counts like in the future, like if you're trying to get me to predict. Especially since he's up against Imavov. And I hope something is ticked in his head. And something did definitely at 305. Like something, he made a mental note, like things need to change. But I do think he looks better. And I definitely think he beats Imavov. Spoiler. That card's on my birthday, actually. I can't wait for that. I'm just going to sit. We got our basement renovated and everything. I'm just going to sit in it, chill, watch UFC. That's how I want to spend my birthday. But yeah, and give us a little overview of 311. Cheers. Hope you see this, mate. Let's go, Renato. I already did give a little bit of an overview of 311, but I'll give a little more. Peyton Talbot. Actually, that's a big one I completely forgot about. Peyton Talbot got fucking 30-26 by Raoni Barcelos. Who had that on their scorecards? Actually, I saw a lot of people on the Immortal tournament, especially Max Holloway fan. Max Holloway fan had the most XP out of everyone with the Raoni Barcelos win. He had 14,000. He bet the house on a Raoni Barcelos decision. And man, he made so much XP. Yeah, what else? Zachary Reese getting KO'd. I didn't think that was going to happen. Man, I was looking at the prelims. I was like, fuck, I am out of this tournament. Shit. Yeah, but I ended up getting 5,000. I pulled off on the main card. Spivak didn't win. I thought Spivak was going to win. I know. But somehow, Jailton Almeida actually fucking rallied and got a TKO somehow. That's interesting. Man, I can't believe that was bumped up to the main card. And I was right about Reinier de Ritter and Kevin Holland, too. I knew he was going to sub him round one. I hate to see it. I hate to see it. And did anyone think that the Intuit Dome had like a great, it was like a mini sphere. It's like if you've ever seen, I don't know if anyone watches football, American football, not soccer. If anyone watches the Rams or the Chargers, SoFi Stadium is kind of like what they have in the Intuit Dome. And I get it's the same city, but man, was it awesome. Like really, if they could just do that instead of on the Jumbotron every time. I always love it when they switch it up with the visuals a bit. Like the sphere. Even if you guys noticed the last Saudi card, the Whitaker Alaskarov one, they switched up the visuals. I thought it was awesome. Add a little bit of smoke in there and everything just changes. Alright, I'll move on to three pieces. I'm stalling a lot. What's next for Kevin Holland? I like the guy, but I think he's a little undersized for middleweight. And keep away from grapplers. I like to see him return to welterweight and face Magnier Battle. Thoughts? He is definitely very undersized for middleweight. And the guys that he's fighting are also very big for middleweight. Roman Dolidze obviously beat Anthony Smith at 205. Reinier de Ritter became a double champ in one championship at 185. And we can't forget the run at 185 that Kevin Holland had in 2020. Right? 5 wins. We can't forget that. But definitely, I really think he's small, especially with the way middleweight's going. These guys are getting a lot bigger. Like, look at fucking low ranked. The smallest guy there in the rankings. Like, look at them. They're all fucking beefcakes. Number 15, Michel Pereira, is pure muscle. Paulo Costa, pure muscle. Like, there's really not a small guy in that division. And Kevin Holland's definitely small for it. He's a skinny little boy. But did he have success at 170 is the thing. I'd like to see him bounce between the two. You know what? He became ranked. Now, granted, he beat Michael Chiesa. But I really need to see what he can do. Like, I'd say give him, if he wants another fight at 185 max, and put him up against a little 185er. Don't put him up against anyone big. I can't think of a name off the top of my head. But like another guy similar to like Mikhailo Jacek, like put him against like an Ihor Potieria or something. Okay, like someone he can beat, like a can. But I do think he should go back down to 170. Because he can definitely make that weight. Think he lost at 170 to like JDM, MVP. He didn't do great, but he could still do it. And I think that's going to be better than 185 right now. Let's see. Peyton Talbot got humbled bad. How good do you think he comes back? It depends on who they give him next. Because we got to remember big ol' Robelis to Spain. He's already out of the UFC, and he debuted in March. So think about it. They gave him a striker, and then they gave him two people who learned how to wrestle. Okay, Waldo Cortez Acosta had to take advantage of it. He wrestled. Austin Lane, I don't think he was really known for his wrestling, but he knew that if he was going to strike with Robelis to Spain, especially with his chin, he's going to fucking sleep. So, it really depends on who they give him next. If they give him a heavy grappler, or someone who even knows how to grapple, like Raoni Barcelos, his striking is still really good, but he knew that if he striked with Peyton Talbot, he'd be fucked. So they have to, and that also depends on Peyton's end too. If he takes a mental note in training and realizes that he has to change his game plan, then he can really recover well from this, I think. But yeah, it really depends on who they give him. Like, if they give him like a Ricky Simone, he might be fucked. Even though Ricky Simone's a bit of a can right now and he's on like a 3-fight losing streak. If they give him a wrestler, he's pretty screwed. Or someone who even knows how to wrestle. He's got to get good takedown defense. But yeah, really depends on how they give it to him. Almeida, gone the fight to make next. Almeida Aspinall for the vacant strap. Here's the thing. Almeida hasn't beat anyone higher than him in the rankings right now. And I think he needs to beat someone higher than him, which I think he definitely could. But calling out Gane, that's a fight that I think should happen, but I don't think the UFC will give it to him. Because they know Gane. They want to build up Gane, and they already have, kind of, as like this French star. Kind of like Benoit Saint-Denis. But the thing is that he can't fucking grapple for shit. He cannot grapple. Like Francis Ngannou could out grapple him, and he got out grappled by Stipe, and I know that was years and years and years ago. But he hasn't really improved much. He got fucking out grappled by Volkov. He should have lost that fight. And yeah, I don't think the UFC will make it. I do think it is the fight to make next. Although, Almeida, the thing is, he's got really good jiu-jitsu. So on the Aspinall fight, Aspinall's also got really good jiu-jitsu, but he could also probably, if Curtis Blades can KO Almeida, I think Aspinall definitely can too. Don't get me wrong, that's actually probably a good fight, as much as I don't like Jailton Almeida. That's actually probably a good fight, Aspinall and Almeida. Yuri clearly worked on his defense. He kept his hands up a lot more. The spirits of the Mexican fire ants told him to keep his hands up more, but he did resort to that wide bouncing stance with his hands down a little too much. Does he wait for another shot at Alex or fight someone like Olberg? So oh man. Fuck, man. That's what Yuri said if you didn't know. I really I'm basically like him right now. I really want a third fight with Alex. Oh man, this is hard to say. I really don't know if he gets a third fight with Alex. This is like Max Holloway and Volk, right? Like, if he beats him 3 times, like, fuck. I think he probably has to fight someone else. He has to fight someone else. 1 win after the title shot. I don't think it's enough. Obviously last time, because it was the early stoppage, and then he beat Rakic, and there was no other number 1 contender. Yes, I'm saying Ankh was not the number 1 contender. Suck it. Yeah, I really think that he probably has to fight someone else. As for who he fights, I don't know. Maybe like a Olberg, but I think they will give Olberg the title shot if he wins. Jan Blachowicz, maybe. Nikita Krylov just got booked against Reyes. I would have said that. That would have been the fight I would have made. But he did keep his hands up. But the thing that really impressed me is Yuri had really good head movement, and Jamal looked unbelievably stiff against Yuri. If anyone noticed, Yuri was just ducking and weaving and just fucking teeing off on Jamal. Man, that was an amazing fight. I really did like that. And can you say, sorry, and what can you say bad about Merab other than his mic? Merab's got great mic skills. The guy has never made champions, and Daggies look like lower level fighters. Figgy or Sean next. Yeah, no, he definitely made Umar look human. Like, you would think Dagestanis have huge plot armor. Turns out the cure to Khabib is just having insane cardio, and like really good wrestling. That, like, even better wrestling than a Dagestani. Like, that's it. That's all you need. You just need good cardio. I get that Umar broke his hand in the first round. Shut the fuck up. I don't care. Dagestani lost. Fair and square. No fluke like the Adriano Martins Islam fight. I don't care. But who comes next? I heard the UFC's gonna give it to Sean next. I really don't like that. Sean had 1 title defense. I don't give a shit that he's a star. He had 1 title defense against Cheeto Vera, for Christ's sakes. I don't give a shit that he 50-44'd him. I do not want Sean to fight next. He needs to have a bounce back win. So here's what I would do. I would say right now the main title challenger is Petr Yan. Petr Yan can definitely get the rematch with Merab. I know I don't like the idea of it, especially after the last one, but that is probably what I would make. And then we do Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen, and then we throw Figgy in with like, oh man, who would we throw Figgy in with? See, I would say Song Yadong, but he's booked. Oh man, fuck man, that's tough. Maybe, no, we already did Figgy Cheeto. I'm fucking stupid. We could throw Figgy in with like a Mario Bautista or something. Just destroy him, please. Rob Font, maybe. Rob Font's just alright. But I'd have to see Figgy get 1 more win. I would say Song Yadong if, he wasn't booked already. And then Islam. Yes, he is great. But let me be the devil's avocado here. Okay, I brought this point up earlier. His only defenses are featherweights or short notice lightweights other than Dustin. To me, then, full camp lightweights can take him into deeper waters. I still feel Arman is his biggest threat, but if Justin or Hooker have a standout performance, it will be them or Charles next. How do you think that played out? So, what I'm looking early on here is it's Gaethje Hooker's 50-50 for me right now, because part of me thinks that that's still Justin Gaethje. We haven't seen him in a year, almost. That's still Justin Gaethje. And Dan Hooker has been having close fights. Close fights. You can argue Gamrot won. You can argue Jalen Turner won. He's been having close fights. So either Dan Hooker can edge a close decision, or Gaethje can actually finish him. It's really close for me. I do think they're gonna go with Charles next. He beat Michael Chandler. Dana loves Michael Chandler, so they could probably just shoehorn in Oliveira Chandler 2. It was already, or sorry, not Oliveira Chandler 2. That already happened. Islam versus Oliveira 2. That already happened, or already was booked for Abu Dhabi, and that's when Volk came in on short notice. And yeah, I think they can probably book Oliveira. Arman needs a layup fight to get back, I think, because the same thing happened to Oliveira on 2 weeks' notice, and they made him have a layup fight. And what else was I gonna say? Yeah, I think if Gaethje wins, I don't think they give him the title shot. And honestly, even with Dan Hooker, Islam did already beat him years and years and years ago. But Islam did already beat him. It's kind of tough to say. It's kind of tough to say. I really don't know. I would say they give Dan Hooker the title shot. If they give Arman Tsarukyan the title shot, I would say they give Dan Hooker the title shot. But also, what's it called? I'm blanking on it. If Gaethje wins, I don't know if they're going to give him the title shot just because he lost to Max Holloway. But who else is there? Like, I guess they gave Dustin the title shot after he beat Benoit Saint-Denis, so why not, I guess, give Gaethje his last title shot. So I guess the winner of them probably after Oliveira fights him, if they even let Oliveira fight him, which I think they should. What's next for Beneil after he got screwed Saturday? Moicano versus Pimblett? No, that's the next question. I think Beneil Dariush is going to fight Grant Dawson. I think he's going to fight Grant Dawson because Grant Dawson's in the gray zone right now. They don't really know if he's ranked or not. He's ranked right now after his last win, which he should be. I didn't like that he got removed last time. It should have been Benoit Saint-Denis. But they're just swapping him and Yoel Alvarez at willy-nilly now. Yeah, I think Grant Dawson is going to be the fight for him, and I think Beneil could beat him. Grant Dawson, he's only lost to Bobby Green, and he got fucking flatline KO'd. I think it's going to be Beneil. I think it's going to be Beneil Dariush on UFC 314 in April. And then Moicano versus Pimblett next. That was the fight I wanted to make after Moicano won this. I wanted to see Moicano versus Pimblett, and I definitely think that's how it's going to go. And I got to pick Moicano on that. I don't give a shit he lost to Islam. I don't know how elite Patty is. He beat Bobby Green after Bobby Green did the lowest IQ thing ever and took him down. I'm going to say Moicano would win that fight, and I want that to be the fight next. And Moicano needs a layup fight. Moicano needs his money, which apparently he got close to $1 million for fighting on short notice there, so good for him. And that's it. Okay, so that's all I got for this episode. Again, this is a Q&A episode, so we're going to keep it a little short, as per usual. Thank you guys for listening. I don't need to drag this on for another minute, 20 seconds. I'm already dragging it on as is, and you guys aren't even noticing. Let's see if we can get to the 24-minute mark. Fuck, man. I really want to third fight with Alex. Yep, that was already enough as a... Oh, ooh, look, that. We're close to the 24-minute mark. All right, so that's the 24-minute mark. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.